Your tongue sticks to your teeth, tasting ash and sour wine. The Tiber's breath crawls up the river steps, warm and rotten, and it clings to the travertine like it owns it. One rule tonight, at least the rule people whisper. When the bells finish, strangers get questioned. Not later, not kindly. So do you buy a drink now, or gamble on the fountain and pray you look like you belong? You pull your rough wool cloak tighter, as if cloth can bargain with the air. Look, do you see the torchlight bobbing between brick arches and broken marble? That's the night watch. Iron keys clink, boots slap puddles. If they decide you're a vagrant, you don't sleep outside. You sleep in chains. Move, quietly. In Rome, nothing is free. Not water, not bread, not even a patch of shadow under an old arch. You feel the coins in your leather pouch, too light to be comforting. A few cold circles, already sweating away your future. You drift toward a market edge where smoke hugs the stalls, and the air tastes like old wood and damp straw. A baker's boy slaps dough onto a board, fast and mean, the way someone works when they've been yelled at all day. The bread comes out dark, flat, heavy as a brick. You smell it, burnt crust, wet grain, yesterday's smoke. Listen, hear that scrape when the loaf is cut? Grit. Stone grit ground into the flour, chewing your enamel the way the street chews strangers. You bite anyway, because hunger is louder than caution. Your jaw works like a mill. You hate it. You keep chewing. A woman lifts a pot lid near a low fire set beside the open street, tucked under a brick arcade but still under sky. Steam rolls out thick with cabbage, onion, and whatever survived the day. She dips a wooden spoon, eyes flicking from your face to your pouch. This is pottage, and it feels like it's been simmering forever. You notice the trick. They never wash the pot completely. They just keep feeding it, day after day, changing it slowly until nobody can say where yesterday ends and today begins. It smells safer than it looks, until you see a beetle caught on the rim. You pretend you don't. Pride doesn't fill a stomach. A ladle costs you the smallest coin you own. Not because it's worth it, because you're not from here. And strangers always pay extra, in coin or in pain. That's another rule. Nobody writes it down. Everyone enforces it. You eat from a chipped clay bowl, standing in the smoke. Across the way, a butcher's table glistens with fat and flies. The meat is cut thin, spiced hard, trying to hide yesterday. You swallow and wonder what fresh even means tonight. Now, thirst returns, sharper than hunger. Ahead, a public fountain trickles into carved stone, water threading over a worn lip. Your body wants to believe it's clean, blessed, safe. But the street has rules, and the street teaches fast. A man with cracked lips leans close, whispering like a prayer. Fountains for locals, he says, pointing with two dirty fingers toward the basin. Stranger drinks there, stranger meets questions. Then he smiles without warmth and offers you a cup anyway. The cup is tin, dented, and smells like old grapes. Thin wine cut with water, sour enough to sting. You think, wine is luxury, but actually this is survival math, not luxury. Boiling and fermentation scare sickness more than hope does. A mouthful costs nearly what the pottage cost. You pay anyway. You hate that this is the logic holding your life together. You drink, and your throat thanks you like a dog. Keep moving. You walk past doorways the way hungry men look at bread. Most homes are one room, everyone breathing the same air. No privacy, no quiet, just bodies, smoke, prayers, and the scrape of daily life. If you get a spot indoors, you share it with strangers you can't afford to trust. Look, do you see that upper window? A shutter cracks open, then shuts. Something splashes into the street with a wet slap, not water. You jump back, heart thudding, shoes sliding in filth. People don't even look up, like it's weather. A child laughs, then coughs, then rubs his nose with a dirty wrist. This city doesn't warn you, it trains you. And here's the myth people tell later when they want history to feel neat. They always shouted a special phrase, they say. Reality is uglier. Most times, you get no warning at all. The only honest signal is the smell arriving first. You pass a narrow alley where a man scrapes a bucket. He works by lantern, head wrapped in cloth. He won't meet your eyes, like shame is part of the uniform. Nightman, waist hauler. The job nobody admits exists, and yet the city would choke without it. You overhear his pay, and it shocks you. Dirty work can pay more than clean work, sometimes, because Rome needs someone to touch what it won't name. And the stink sticks to money the same way it sticks to skin. The bells begin in the distance, slow and heavy, echoing off basilica walls and ruined columns. That's the next rule people live by. After the bells, movement looks suspicious. You need shelter before the street decides your prey. You scan for an inn, but inns demand proof and coin, seals, names, witnesses, things you don't have. A pilgrim badge catches your eye, tin, stamped, swinging on a cord. The man wearing it looks half dead, half proud. He's English by his vowels, and he's limping, favoring one foot like he's been walking for weeks. He sees you staring and nods, like you're both guilty of surviving. "Come," he says, and leads you under a low arch where broken marble blocks are stacked like teeth. He shows you a spot near a doorway, out of the wind. A straw bundle lies there, flattened by many shoulders. Someone slept here last night. Someone will fight for it tonight. Then the turn hits. Two boys drift too close, quiet as smoke. You feel fingers brush your belt, testing your pouch. You spin, but you're late by one heartbeat. Your leather pouch is lighter. Wrong lighter. Coins vanish like breath in winter, gone without sound. The boys are already melting into the crowd. You could chase them, but chasing makes you loud. Listen, do you hear the watch now? Keys, boots, a cough, a laugh. If you run, you become the story they want. Tonight, you pay in coin, or you pay in pain. So you swallow rage and do the only smart thing. You pretend nothing happened. You move like you belong. You count what remains, 2 small coins and a clipped bit. Enough for bread, maybe, or a bribe. Not both. You drift toward a tavern glow, hoping for cover. Inside, the air is thick with sweat, yeast, and wet wool. Men drink weak ale and thin wine. Not celebration, just calories. A mother hands a child a cup, and nobody flinches, because thirst doesn't care about purity. Here's another myth people love repeating. They never drank water. Only beer. Reality is messier. They drank water too, when it seemed safe. But seems safe is a moving target, often a lie. The English pilgrim sits beside you, rubbing his wrists. Faint scars show where rope once bit. "War took my brother," he says, staring into his cup. Not the fight, what came after. He doesn't talk like a storyteller. He talks like someone paying for each word. He mentions archers, bows like tree limbs, draw weights that twist bodies over years. He says you can tell an archer by his shoulders, by the shape of his hands. Then he stops, and you realize why he's in Rome. Not triumph, refuge, hunger, the same math you're doing. A mug of ale costs less than a bed. A bed costs less than a doctor. A doctor costs less than burial prayers. You do the math and feel the debt settle on your shoulders like a second cloak. Outside, the air turns cooler, and the street narrows between brick and stone. You head toward the river, because open space feels safer. But open space has eyes, and eyes belong to someone. On the bridge, lantern light catches a table of trinkets. A vendor smiles too wide, like a knife pretending it's a spoon. He holds up a tiny bone sealed in cheap glass, wrapped in thread. "A saint," he whispers, "for protection." Your skin prickles, because scams always sound like comfort. This is where your true crime night begins. Look, do you see the crowd shape around you, gently? One man bumps your shoulder, apologizing too much. Another steps behind you, blocking your retreat. It's soft, it's polite, it's practiced. The vendor lowers his voice, making it intimate. "Pilgrims buy fast," he says, "before the watch comes." He points at your cloak, at your accent, at your hesitating hands. He's not selling a relic, he's selling panic. You refuse, and his smile collapses into offense. He raises his voice sharp enough to cut the air. "Thief!" he shouts, pointing at you, sudden and loud. The crowd gasps on cue, like rehearsed theater. Then the trap snaps shut. A guard appears like he was already waiting. Not the city watch, someone local, someone paid. He grabs your sleeve and asks for your name. Your mouth goes dry again. You don't know the right words, the right documents, the right tone. Your papers are nothing. No seal, no witness, no guild mark. In this street, innocence is just a story you can't afford. The guard pats your belt and finds the last of your coins. He holds them up where the vendor can see. "Stolen," the vendor says, nodding hard. The crowd agrees, hungry for a clean villain. Now comes the bribe dressed up as mercy. The guard leans close, breath wine sour, eyes bored. "Pay the piece," he murmurs, and walk away. Or he takes you to a cell until morning. He names a fee that eats your entire pouch. Not a fine written anywhere you can read. Just a number spoken softly, like confession. The street has rules. This is one of them. You could run, right now, into the dark. But you picture the chase, the shout, the boots, the chains. You could fight, but a lone stranger loses fights quickly. So you do the ugliest thing. You pay. Coins drop into his palm. He relaxes, like the problem solved itself. The vendor shrugs and turns to scan for the next target. You walk away lighter than you can explain. And you learn the survival rule the hard way. Never argue in a crowd that's already chosen you. Never let anyone place you in the center of a circle. Never show fear where profit can smell it. In Rome, nothing is free. You stumble toward a quieter lane, shaking with fury. Your stomach twists now, not just hunger. Sour pottage, thin wine, fear sweat. You need stone beneath you before you break open. You find church steps, worn smooth by knees and time. A candle trembles inside. A novice sweeps dust with his eyes down, avoiding everything. You sit anyway, because stone is better than the street. Here comes the spike, the part nobody puts in paintings. A man drags another by the collar into a side doorway. The dragged man begs, swearing saints, swearing his mother's grave. And the dragger only says, "Confess," and it ends faster. You think medieval justice is just harsh. But actually, it's often improvised, local, and purchased. The law isn't blind tonight. The law is hungry, and it recognizes strangers. Inside, a clerk reads by lamplight. Parchment roll, wax seal stamped, names inked tight. Not holy, administrative, cold. This is the part they don't show. Paperwork behind suffering. And this is how you know it's real. Not because a narrator tells you, but because the city documents itself. Bread weights, market rules, fines, oaths, little penalties like teeth. A world built from ink, even when most can't read it. A woman nearby whispers about sickness in the quarter. Bad air, she says. The city's breath turned poisonous. She presses herbs to her nose, eyes wide with fear that has nowhere to go. You remember the grit grinding your jaw. You remember the pot that never truly empties. You remember the splash from the window. And suddenly, plague doesn't feel like history. A man offers you a remedy, vinegar on cloth, meant to ward sickness. He wants coin you no longer have. So you trade something else, your last clean scrap of linen. You pay with clothing, not money. Because in a city like this, objects are currency. Your cloak, your belt, your needle, your soap, everything converts. Tonight, your dignity is the cheapest thing you own. You try to sleep, but the street keeps talking. A cart rattles by, wheels clacking over stone. A drunk sings, then vomits, then laughs at himself. Two dogs fight over a crust, snarling low. Rome never truly goes quiet, it just changes its voice. Near the river, you spot a wooden platform where men haul sacks. Grain, salt, something heavy enough to feed a city that refuses to stop. A foreman points at you, measuring you with his eyes. He offers you a task. Carry 2 sacks, earn a bite. Your shoulders ache, but your stomach answers first. You lift. Grain dust fills your nose. You cough, and the foreman laughs like that's normal. You haul until your arms tremble. You feel every calorie leaving like coins from a torn pouch. Then he pays you, a crust, a sip, a scrap. Enough to keep you alive. Not enough to make tomorrow easier. Dawn begins to bleach the sky, slow and gray over terracotta roofs and broken columns. You think you made it. You think survival means you're safe. But here comes the last turn, sharp as a nail. A crier's voice cuts through the morning like a bell. He calls for labor, for men, for bodies to carry and dig. He speaks of taxes, of service, of duties owed. And you realize the city doesn't just take money. It takes your time, your strength, your blood when needed. The English pilgrim appears again, eyes hollow, and grips your sleeve. "Draft," he whispers, like it's a curse. They grab strangers first, fewer kin to complain. You look at the road out. You look at the river crossing where you got trapped. You look at the guards yawning awake, hands on staves. Every exit has a cost, and you're running out of currency. You have one forced choice left. Do you hide in church shadow and risk accusation again? Do you run for the gate and risk the watch? Or do you take the day's work and vanish into the crowd? You stand, pulling your cloak closed with shaking fingers. You taste last night's smoke on your breath. You hear the city waking, hungry as ever. The street has rules, and it's writing new ones right now. As the sun lifts, a hand touches your shoulder. Not friendly. A guard's grip, firm, familiar, practiced. He asks your name again, slow, like he already knows it. And you realize the vendor's circle wasn't the only circle. There are bigger circles here. Guilds, guards, courts, priests. Rome doesn't just watch you, it sorts you. So what do you say before he decides for you?